I do want to hit on the subject du jour about the end of the NFC Championship game, and what do you think the general sense of things is from the management level, the ownership level, and the competition committee level that you represent all in one, Stephen?
Absolutely. Well, I think, when I first joined the committee, Rich, the one thing we learned right away is you don't make knee-jerk decisions and have knee-jerk opinions. And then the other term I learned early and often are the unintended consequences. I think, in general, obviously, you look at the call, obviously, that's in question. And certainly, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, obviously for the Saints. They certainly play that forward and see where they are in the Super Bowl right now and understand that. But at the same time, if you get into, the far-reaching consequences of that, which are, how do you insert pass interference into any type of a replay, it's a very judgmental call at the end of the day. And although that one to most appeared obvious, there's a lot of pass interference call because of the contact we have in our game, all the hand fighting that goes on down the field. It's a very judgmental call that's not always clear and obvious. It can certainly be that. It can certainly be a case made that there's, PI calls that aren't pass interference that, half the people think they are and half the people think they aren't. But, obviously we'll take a look as we do everything, and it deserves a long look. And a lot of provocative conversations will be had on, how to move forward with something like that. I think it was all a call that we, hate that was missed. At the same time, no one has more respect for our officials than myself. I mean, there's a lot of pressure put on them. There's 22 players out on that field. There's a lot of space. There's a lot of, contact that goes on in our game, which is expected. And, they have tough duties. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for them. It's our job, as a league, as a competition committee, to continue to improve and make our game better for our fans in terms of officiating. And it's our job to put them in better places. And I don't have the answer to that on my fingertips as we sit here today. I certainly look forward to sitting with them, with my fellow competition committee members, our NFL staff, and looking for ways to improve our football game.
I'm sure Sean Payton, obviously he's on the committee. He'll be in the room. Have you had any conversations with him at all yet, Stephen?
I have not. I have let him certainly let this all kind of emotion or work its way as we all have in all these games. I mean, we were involved in we've been involved in games like that where, officiating can be contested. And certainly it's an emotional roller coaster that you go through. I think anybody who's been involved in the NFL and been involved in games probably at one time or another have had, calls that work your way and you have calls that work against you. But certainly when it's done, in these playoff games where, it's if you lose, you go home, then there's a lot more emotion involved. But, Sean's a very, very smart coach. He adds a lot to the committee. I know he'll have a lot of great ideas, as will the other members, as will our staff.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.